guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video, if you can't tell by the title, we are going to be playing and testing out the newish, I want to say, it's not like brand new, but it's the newish new Morphe palette, the 35C Everyday Chic Palette. This is just the outer packaging. I was kindly gifted this in the GLAMFAM a couple of weeks ago, so I thought let's go ahead, let's play with it, because yeah, it looks quite cute. It's a little bit different to what I would usually go for an eyeshadow palette, so yeah, I thought we'll just test it out today. So yes, if you don't know what the palette looks like, pretty much packaging is pretty similar to like their other Morphe packaging. I don't know if they've like recently changed it up, because like this is like plastic, like square, like the other ones are plastic, but I don't know, this feels like slightly thinner than their like usual ones. They've kind of been changing it up. Obviously their first lot of palettes were like plastic that had Morphe on it, then they changed it and changed some to like cardboard packaging, similar to like the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and now this one is like a plastic one that's got like the Morphe logo down here and obviously the name of it up here. Yes, and it just has a little thing on the back, nothing crazy, but yeah, it's pretty much similar to like the box packaging as well, and this has some more writing on it on the back. Basically just says the ingredients and stuff like that. Yeah. The palette retails for £24, and yeah, let's go ahead and let's open her up, see what she looks like. It's, like I said, it's not something that I would particularly go for. On the inside it does come with this sheet of names. I feel like they kind of stopped doing the plastic sheet for a little bit, and they were actually putting the names on the palette, which I prefer. I don't really like these little sheets with the names on it, like they just kind of get in the way for me personally. But this is what the palette looks like. Honestly, she's quite pretty. There's quite a lot of like darker shades in here, but I feel like it's a palette that a lot of people can kind of go to, maybe not, I'm not too sure. There's not a lot of warm tones in here. I would say it's mainly like cool tones. There's a pressed glitter in the middle which looks gorge. There's some like random purpley shades in here. There's some like cool tone browns. There is like a couple of warm tones in here as well, but I'd say it's mainly like cool tones. They've got these random like pops of green down here. Yeah, like the palette actually does look gorgeous when you fully look at it, but it's not something that I would have picked out myself. I'm excited to try it. Let's swatch a couple of the shades. I'm not going to swatch the whole palette, just because if you know me, you know that I don't really like to swatch the whole palette, because for me it's actually about testing them out on my eyes. Swatches don't really mean a right lot to me. I'll only swatch the full palette if there's not a lot of shades, to be honest. That's just me being a little bit lazy, you know. But yeah, if you do want to see swatches, I'm pretty sure they have them on the Morphe website or something like that. But yeah, let's go ahead, let's swatch a couple of the shadows, ones that like kind of intrigue me. Here's a couple of the shadows swatched. As you can see, kind of definitely more on the cooler tone side, and they still look really pretty though. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards like the purples in this palette. I know there's not a lot, but yeah, I think it's really nice. You can definitely get more of like a purpley look or like a neutral look, so that I can see there's a lot of different looks you can create with this palette, which, you know, is amazing. There's definitely, you know, ones you can use for every day. You can definitely switch it up so it's more like nighttime glam, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's jump on into just trying out some of the shadows. I'll see how I feel. I hope they are like the normal Morphe formula, because I do love the Morphe formula. So yeah, let's go ahead and just jump straight on into it. So I've literally just primed my lids. Obviously, as always, I use the ABH eye primer. Just my favourite one to go for. I don't know what accent that was. It was bloody awful though. I totally forgot to mention this palette is £24, guys. I don't know if I actually mentioned that in the intro, but yeah, I've forgotten already, even though it was like 10 seconds ago. But yeah, it's not a bad price. I think it's pretty similar to like the other palettes. So yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be too expensive. Okay, so I'm going to take the first shade, which is Total Mood. It's one of the ones I swatched actually. It's like this mulberry kind of brown shade, I would say. And I'm just taking this on the Beauty Bay Throw Shade brush. Mine is stained, it is clean. It's just stained. And I'm just going to start packing this like through the crease. It's definitely coming off more like purple already, like, which is kind of what I wanted. I want to go for like a more cool toned purple look today. That's what I'm feeling, so we're doing that. Packing on well, to be honest. I would say there's a little bit of fallout, especially when dipping into the pan, that kind of thing. But yeah, so far that's actually a really nice shade. It's very dark, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. I am having to go into the pan quite a few times to pick up more product, which is not a bad thing. There's not much fallout in the pan, it's quite a firmly pressed shadow, but it's like when you pack it on the lid there is a little bit of fallout. Nothing crazy, it's not like an ABH thing. If you ever tried ABH shadows, they're quite kick-uppy and they have quite a bit of fallout. So I would say you could definitely have your base makeup on, just apply a little bit of powder underneath and you'll still be fine. So that actually looks really nice. In the pan it looks more of like a chocolate brown, but it's definitely coming off more of like a purple, like a really deep purple shade. I don't really know what the right word is. Definitely packed on well. It's, yeah, not patchy. I wouldn't say it's, you know, the pigment's definitely there. Packed on well. Only a tiny bit of fallout, but there's not much kick up in the pan. So yeah, I'm not mad at this. I think it looks quite nice. I'm then going to take the shade Playtime, which is like this lilac-y cool tone shade. It's not like fully lilac, but yeah, you can kind of see what I mean. And I'm going to start blending this out with that shade. I don't know if it's going to work well, but I'm kind of hoping it does. I'm just taking it on a Morphe M506 brush, just a small blending brush. Again, mine is clean, it's just stained. I feel like all my brushes are literally just stained at this point. This is a very powdery. I've just dipped my brush in very lightly and there's a lot of kick up in the pan. So yeah. I thought it was going to be too light to blend out that shade, but it's actually not. It's actually like a really like perfect shade for blending out that deep purple. It's definitely blending out the dark purple shade really well. Actually really nice, these two shades together. I kind of thought the purple was going to be more like pastel, but it's definitely not. It's definitely a great shade for blending out that other one. This is definitely a cool tone look. Like, I quite like it. Yeah, blended out really well. I actually quite like them together. I'm not usually like a massive cool toned purple kind of fan, but this looks really nice. I'm gonna take the shade Chic It Out, which is this like vanilla, quite pale shade. I quite like having like a paler shade in the palette that's similar to my skin tone, just because sometimes you need it to help it blend into the skin properly. I'm just going to take a little bit of that on a Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH34 brush, and I'm just going to blend around the outsides of like the purple shades, or purple shade should I say, just because it will help it to blend into the skin more. Yeah, that's really nice. Definitely helps to blend it out more, to be honest. So if you are like a pale skin tone like me, and if you're struggling blending out shades, just use like a shade that is similar to like your skin tone. You can even use like a pressed powder that is like similar to your skin tone, just to help like buff out shades some more. But yeah, so far I'm actually really pleased with how these are blending. I'm gonna go ahead, jump into all the shades we just used, pack it on some more, blend it out some more, just so then it helps to build it up, make it a little bit more, make the blend a little bit more seamless. Okay, and I'm kind of happy with how these are blended out. So far I'm really impressed. Like I said, they pack on really well. The first shade that I used packed on really well. Only a little bit of fallout underneath my eyes, not much. The second shade that I used to blend it out, very, very kick-uppy in the pan. I don't know if you can kind of like see. There's quite a bit, not too much, but there is quite a bit. It's like even if you dab your brush in lightly, it still kicks up a little bit, so you do have to tap off your brush, but it still blends out that purple shade beautifully. And then obviously that creamy vanilla shade, again, nothing bad to say. I really like having that kind of shade in the palette for myself personally, because I'm quite pale. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease. I don't know whether I'm going to do a halo eye or an actual cut crease, but I guess we'll kind of see when I come back. And then we're going to do the lid shade together. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've literally just cut my crease off camera. I did a halo eye today. I never usually do halo eye. It's not usually my kind of thing. But yeah, here we are. Done a halo eye, something very different. I don't think I've ever done one on my channel before, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't really know what shade I'm going to use for the lid. I think I'm going to use both of these shades. So I'm going to take the shade, let me just find out what shade it's called first. I'm going to take the shade Ooh La La first, which is this gorgeous duochrome shadow down here. I'm going to put that like on the edges of my cut crease, like my halo eye, both sides, if that makes sense. You'll kind of see what I'm trying to get at in a second, because that shade is actually really pretty. Got some like, there's almost like little glitter particles in it, which is so cute. I love shadows that really stand out. So yeah, I'm just going to use my Morphe R42 brush, looks like this. Start packing that on. Ooh, you probably can't see that properly yet, but oh my, that is super pretty. I'm tempted to just put this all over my lid, to be honest. You can't even see it properly on camera, I don't think, but it's gorgeous. In person, it is stunning. Oh, you can see that? You can kind of see it. Oh, it's actually gorgeous. And I'm going to put that other shade, which is called Fancy This, which is almost like the same colour. It's this shade here. It's almost like the same colour as this one, but just like a shimmer version. So then I will see how this looks with them together. Ooh. It's actually really pretty with them together, to be honest. That is gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed. I'm just going to keep going into both of the shades and like blending them together, if that makes sense. Just so then it doesn't look too harsh. That is gorgeous. Like, I'm actually obsessed. How stunning is that? I know it looks a bit like choppy going into the matte, but I'll fix that in a second. So I'm just going to go into that darker brown shade. I've forgotten what it's called. Not brown, that deep purple shade, Total Mood, the first one that we used. Just taking a tiny bit on the same brush, and I'm just going to like gently blend the edges. I'm actually living, this is so pretty. Okay, so for my inner corner, I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is like the first shade. I don't know what this is called. Oh, it's called Cheers to You. I'm just going to take that on a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH39 brush. Looks like this. So let's see what this looks like. Oof. I was not expecting it to be that bright, to be honest. Oh my god. That is stunning. I love a bright inner corner highlight shade, and this is it. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, that is gorgeous. That is so pretty, honestly. Can you see that? I think you can see that from out of space. I'm pretty sure you can. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this eye off camera, do the rest of my face off camera, like my lashes, that kind of thing. And then I'll kind of be back with like my final thoughts. So yeah, I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. This is the finished look. What do you guys think? Honestly, I actually really like it. It's not something that I would tend to do or tend to gravitate towards. Doing like a cool tone purple look, not usually like my kind of thing. If I usually play with purples, I usually play with the more brighter kind of purples. I usually do like bright looks. But honestly, I'm actually quite liking it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm kind of liking it. So let's go ahead and talk about the palette. First of all, what do I think? And I'm going to be honest, it's not a palette that I would have picked up. It's not a palette that I would have been like, oh, let's go out and purchase it. Just because it is very, very cool toned, I would say, in my personal opinion. There's definitely more cool tones than there are warm tones, which is fine. If you love your cool tones, you will probably love this. If you're more into your warm tones, it might not be something that you want to pick up. Or if you want to play with more cool tones, this would be a really good palette. For the price as well, only £24, I think that's really good. Similar to like that other price palettes. So from the shades that I used, I obviously used this shade first to like pack on and blend out. When I used this shade, I've forgotten the name of it and I don't know where the name sheet is, so yeah, we're just going to point at them. When I first used this shade, it was really well, it packed on really well, really pigmented, Was quite happy with it. Didn't experience any patchiness or anything. I then used this shade to blend it out. The only problem I have with this shade is there's quite a bit of kick up, so you do have to like tap your excess off your brush before you put it on your eye. But then again, it's kind of like a light shade, so you know, it's okay, it did the job. It's just a little bit of fallout. If you don't really like fallout, then you might not enjoy it, but not a big deal to me anyway. It blended out that top shade really well. Didn't experience any patchiness or anything like that. I then used this vanilla shade here just to blend it out some more. Again, just a nice like neutral shade. I then used 2 shimmers, I think, but I used this shimmer here, which is actually gorgeous. I did swatch it before, but like, oh my god, it's definitely got some like duochrome shadow in there. It is beautiful. It's almost like got like a brownie kind of base packed with like purple on top. It's stunning. Again, didn't have any problem with it. It looks gorgeous on. Packed on fine with a brush, so you don't need to use your finger, but you can if you want to, obviously. I then used this shade as well, like on the centre, and it's gorgeous. I think it's just paired really nicely with that shimmer. I'm obsessed. I actually really like it. I then used this shade up here as my inner corner, and can we talk about it? Can we? I'm obsessed. I actually really like it. From the shades that I used anyway, I'm really impressed. It's very similar to like all the other Morphe formulas. Like, yeah, there's nothing about, I can't say anything bad about it. I do want to try the pressed glitter, however I'm scared of pressed glitter. I'm not scared, but it's just not something that I kind of go to, but I will try it out because it does look very intriguing. But yeah, so far I'm actually really enjoying this palette. I do highly recommend it. The formula is definitely amazing. Nothing bad to say. For £24, £24 for 35 shades? Yes, yes. But again, do you need it? That's completely down to you, but I do recommend it if you're wanting to pick it up. So yeah. I'll link everything down below of what else I'm wearing on my face. You can go and check it out if you want to. As always, I will also leave my Instagram and Twitter handle up above and also in the description box down below. So again, if you want to go and follow me there, you can do. I'll just leave it there for you guys. If you like this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!